pulled on a, like, have you ever pulled a prank or been pulled on a prank?
I'm terrible at pranking, so I tend to steer clear of them because they fail. They end up just coming back to bite me in the ass. The best prank anyone's ever pulled on me was Brina Valencia, CL, from Black Butler, and Polo from Spice and Wolf. We've started opposite each other many times. She was a very close friend. Her brother was my first engineer. He works up at Funimation as well as like one of their engineers, and he was my first engineer on a show that I worked on as a director. So the Palencia family and me, have a history. She broke into my house one evening and arranged my furniture. Now, the short version of the story is that I came home with my then partner. We shared a house, and we've been out all evening for a lovely meal. We come in, and I'm like, the door is like, the lock that you can lock on the inside and close is locked, but the bolt, which you can only get with a key, is not. And I remember locking, open the door, and my house, it's been creepy crawled. Like, everything is like feng shui now. Nothing is stolen. Brina doesn't need to steal anything from me, except peace of mind. And there was furniture everywhere, books out. I mean, lived in. There was a note. There was a $5 bill on the couch with a note pinned to it or taped to it that said, "We had fun." Thanks. And I'm thinking, okay, someone's pranked me. Clearly, I don't know who it is yet, but I'll find them. And I was okay with everything until I opened the freezer. Like an hour later to get something, and there in the freezer is my favorite brand of ice cream, a pint of my favorite brand, favorite flavor of ice cream, with my name written on it. And I might add, like, psychotic, like, family like, oh my god, they found me, oh my god. It's like Dr. Brown from Back to the Libyans! So, I called the police, and that was the weirdest conversation I've ever had with another human being. This poor police officer comes up and he's like, "Now, what do you think happened?" And I'm like, "You don't understand, I'm kind of a big deal." Okay, you wouldn't know who I was, but you have a daughter? No, damn it. Damn it. Okay, look, the thing is, there may be one, and he's like just being so little. They didn't take anything, and they didn't break anything, and I'm looking around going, and they did a nice job. Look at it, keep it like this. But that's not the point. There's a goddamn clown in the back room with an axe waiting to kill me when I vandalized him. I need your help. So he's like, fills like very reluctantly fills out the police report, and then later I get a call from Brina, who had called me originally, or I had called her because my first thing was like, it has to be Brina. But Brina is a consummate actress who understands. So when it's like, "Brina, you did this," she's like, "No, what are you talking about? I couldn't." And she convinced me that she couldn't. So her idea was to just kind of, let me sweat it out for half an hour, and then call me back. She fell asleep. About 4, 5, 6 hours later, she calls me back. But this time I'm frantic. I am just Woody Allen in my house. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. We're moving. She calls me up, and her version of the story is she's like, "Hey, it was me, ha ha ha." Not true. She calls me up, and her first words are, "Tatum, okay, so the people that broke in your house, did they leave stuff for you in your fridge?" I'm like, "Yes, oh my God, there was like ice cream, a pint of ice cream with my name on it." She's like, "Oh my God, someone's gotten me." And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's a crazy black guy." And I'm like, "Oh my God, okay, we gotta call Shammy, everyone that's in the cast right now, make sure they're okay." She's like, "Dumbass, it was me." And I've never managed to get her back. It's like 5 years later, and she's like, "You never got me back. I don't feel that we're as close as we used to be." She's untouchable.
I haven't broken into her house.
Because I haven't broken into her house, right. Well, I know her husband, and if I broke into her house, that man is like a giant man. He would kill me. And be like, "Oh, it's Tatum, that sucks. All right. Grab a shovel, let's bury him out somewhere." Yeah, I know this. Like, he would feel bad about it, but not so bad that he couldn't dig. Let's see, this side of the room, I see you, sir, in the very back.
Okay, one with prank. What's your most feared animal and sticking in her desk? And two,
the most feared animal to stick in my desk.
Her desk.
Her desk.
Her desk.
Oh, her desk.
Yes.
Oh, she doesn't have a desk. She's Brina Valencia.
All right, sticking on her front porch.
Around.
But my question. Well, actually, I kind of forgot my question, but whatever. Oh, actually, outside of a convention, have you ever had somebody go, "It's Dave, Michael"? J. Michael!
Yes.
What's your name?
Wow.
Whenever I have someone go, J. Michael, what's your name?
Frequently.
I have been recognized in public places before that aren't conventions, which is kind of weird. When I'm at a convention, you know, I'm here for the purpose, and I've got that vibe going, just like all of you do. So I'm like, hey, how's it going? In public, my first reaction is to be like, shit. Because you'll never understand how weird it is. Like the one time it happened, like a couple of years ago now, I was just walking around a mall in my hometown. Just, you know, I had a Starbucks cup in my hand, my hair looked like shit. I'm just like, just having a day in the real world, buying some clothes. And this kid, I hear that this group of kids, and I hear one of them go, oh my God, J. Michael Tatum. I'm like, I freeze. If I don't move. Vision is based on movement. Like, I swear, I just saw him, guys. I saw him. Comes over, really nice kid. You know, they apparently, you know, he was going to local high school and was like, and he and his friends were like part of this anime club, so they knew what it was. And so they all wanted pictures. And I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, my parents behave. And so I got these pictures of me that looked like they just woke me up or something. But while that's happening, you know, they're all very nice. The weird part is all the other people that have no idea who I am going, what is that weird grown man doing with all those teenagers? Taking pictures, why do they want to touch him? What's going on? I'm like, they think I'm Ben Affleck, I don't know. So it gets a little weird. I did have, just on the flight on the way over, we kind of made friends with the flight attendant because she was sassy. Drinks were free. So she starts talking and she's like, so what do you do? And I explained to her what we were coming to do. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, oh, anime. Well, okay, my best friend's little girl is really into that stuff. Would she know me? I'm like, how old is she? 17. She knows me. So she had like in-flight Wi-Fi and was texting her, this little girl, going, hey, I'm on a plane with J. Michael Tatum. And she was like, who? And then when she said Sebastian from Black Butler, we just get this squeak. She does that all the time. What does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's like a mating call. It's weird. I go to like family gatherings for Thanksgiving, in fact, and like my sister-in-law and her family know people that have kids that are anime fans, and so they know who I am. And they're like, oh my God, J. Michael Tatum. And I'm like, Tatum? Dumbass? Tater tots? Like our brother-in-law? Him? Let me tell you the story about how that one time he walked through the living room in his underwear. So it's weird being recognized in public, but I mean, you never get used to it, ever. And I hope never to get used to it, because I think you have to be really cynical to be like, oh God, here comes another one. Possibly. So, yes, frequently. Okay, you met him with the...
Okay, I have common 2 questions. First off, you are a lot taller than you appear in YouTube videos. A lot. Let's just say I was
Well,
expecting
YouTube videos are like really tiny. Yeah, I guess we're all a little taller than you.
Still short.
Maybe
Second,
not me.
my friend is a huge fan of yours, but she has a play today, so she couldn't come. And so her question for you is, which character do you personally relate with most? And my question for you is, out of France, Kyoya, and Sebastian, who would you kiss, marry, and in Sebastian words, interrogate?
Interrogate? What have we done?
Let's see. Okay, so my choices are France, Sebastian, and Kyoya. Kiss, marry, interrogate. I would kiss France, and then go immediately to a doctor. I would interrogate Sebastian. Because he'd have to do whatever I told him. Right. But I mean, I'm like, dude, you want to talk? Then you gotta come to me. And I would marry Kyoya, because Kyoya's got his act together. And Kyoya kind of reminds me of my real life boyfriend, who's like, the house is burning, cool, I got this. Not only did he save the house from a fire, but it's now a palace. I'm like, how the fuck did you get that? My boyfriend is emperor of the world. You haven't met him yet, but that's exactly how it was. So So I would marry Kyoya because Kyoya is a class act, and it's just, I love Kyoya. He's one of my favorite characters. As far as characters I relate to the most, that's kind of hard to answer too, because in some respect I relate to all of them, because you do build a relationship with characters you play, even if they're very brief lived characters in a show that maybe it represents an hour worth of work for you as an actor. So, but because I work